Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. It's time for Saturday with Stacey, YouTube number 268, and this YouTube is all about Stampendous and exclusive. Now I'll get to that in just a minute, but I want to do a few announcements first. Did you see if you were a winner chicken dinner? Did you watch the YouTube, the 100 winners from our anniversary sale YouTube? Tell me you watched and tell me you heard your name, because there was about 900 comments and we gave away 100 prizes. That means 1 out of 9 of you were a winner chicken dinner. I was so excited for all of you, and somehow I got through those names. Forgive me if I said your name wrong, but go back if you have not watched that YouTube yet, because you only have 30 days to claim your prize from the original air date of that YouTube. Don't let your prize go to the land of misfit prizes. Don't. And we have even more exciting news. So every day we are shipping out Spellbinders warehouse sale orders. We are shipping out National Scrapbooking Day orders, and we are shipping out everyday regular orders. And the everyday regular orders are almost to our everyday shipping time frame. We are almost there. It is, do you know when something's so close? It's right there. You can see it, you can smell it. It's within grasp, but just a little bit too far, no matter how hard you stretch for it. Well, we're gonna keep stretching because we are getting there. Our shipping time frames, I'm sure many of you have seen, have really dramatically dropped. And we've changed a few things up here, streamlined a few things, and I am so proud of my staff because they are just working so diligently to get everything to you, including the Spellbinders warehouse sale and National Scrapbooking Day, which are shipped when they ship orders, along with keeping current with everybody else. And I just have to give a big thank you to you, a huge thank you for those of you who commented that yes, you now see the change in status in your order. From those of you who chose pay later, you get a pay later status when you place your order, and then when your payment comes in, you see a payment received, and then it goes to awaiting fulfillment. When we take it upstairs, that's when you know that it's in process, and then awaiting shipping means it's been fulfilled and quality controlled, and then finally shipped, and it's gone. And for those of you who pay now, you pay when you check out, well, you get payment received, you get awaiting fulfillment, you get awaiting shipping, and then you get shipped. So for those of you who were kind enough to post comments, thank you, really, from the bottom of all of our hearts, not just mine, but my staff too, because then they know that you see it, and because they're working so hard. I bless their pea pickins hearts, really, truly. So Spellbinders is going out, National Scrapbooking Day, and everyday orders. Oh, what else do I have? I have winner chicken dinner to talk about. We've got 2 winners from last week's YouTube, which was Simply Defined, and that was my collection of dies and stamps that was Strength is in Presence. And it was a different collection for me to ever do, but thank you so much for liking it and commenting that you liked it. It was, sometimes you just have to stretch your wings a little bit and just throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. And that's what I did with that collection. And I have a few more collections coming out where I'm hoping that I throw them against the wall and they stick, that you guys really like them. Now, again, don't forget to go back and check the 100 winners from the anniversary sale, because I wouldn't want you to lose your prizes. And prizes are anywhere from about $15, $20 all the way up to $250. No, I can't tell you what you're going to get, because we literally just pick a prize, pick a name, and put it together, and off it goes. Pick a prize, pick a name, and put it in the envelope, and off it goes. But to get 100 winners out, it's going to take us a little time, so just be patient with us. And don't forget to claim your prize. If you don't claim your prize, I guarantee you it will never get on its way to you. So today is about Stampendous and exclusives. First off, we have exclusive die and stamp sets. Not one set, but I think 7 sets of dies and stamps that I kind of had a little hand in. Between Fran and I, she did most of the designing and I did a little tweaking to some of them. And then there's one stamp set that I'm really going to focus on, because I think if you saw this in a retail store, or online, you might just pass it up. I really do believe that. I think that you would look at that and go, I don't get it at all. So I really want to focus on that. Now, exclusive really does mean exclusive. You won't be able to find any of these dies or stamps until April of next year, anywhere else but Scrapbooking Made Simple. And we have a limited quantity on them. And I do mean limited. Usually a manufacturer is able to say, oh yeah, you know what, we've got 500 or we've got 100 or 150 or 300 or whatever. But this has got a finite quantity to it. So if you like them, get them. And if not, they'll be available again in April of 2019 when Stampendous releases them to all of their customers. But for now, they're just for Scrapbooking Made Simple. Okay, I have winner chicken dinner to talk about, and there are 2 of you, and you are going to win some of the Simply Defined Strength is in Presence collection. Congratulations to the both of you. I have got Lucy. Oh, is it Gerland or Gerland? No, it's got to be Gerland. Lucy Gerland. I'm going with Ger and not Ger, but sometimes a G can sound like a J. That is my dyslexia kicking in. So Lucy, if that's your name, you're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. What am I gonna do in 2019? I'm gonna have to find something new. I also have another winner chicken dinner, and you also are going to win some of the dies from my last collection. That was Strength is in Presence, and you are Deanne Scott. Is that it, Deanne? Yes, Deanne Scott. Is that your name? Are you Deanne? Are you? Is it you? Really? Is it you? That's your name? Is it you? Are you watching this right now going, ah? Good, because I'm going, ah, for you. Between Lucy and Deanne, they both are going, ah. All right, girls, you know the drill. You got to claim your prize within 30 days. How do you claim your prize? Go to scrapbookingmadesimple.com, look for the link that says winner chicken dinner, follow the directions, and we will confirm that you are indeed our winner chicken dinner, and then send your prize off to you. Congratulations, and congratulations to all of those who won in the anniversary 100 prize extravaganza. Don't forget to claim your prize. I know I sound like a nag, don't I? All right. So, what do we have for you today? We have Stampendous. I'm going to be playing with dies and stamps. I'm going to be using watercolor pencils today, and just because it's a really easy way to color, and I'm going to be using some of my must-haves, and I think most importantly, I'm going to be working with a stamp that I think if you saw it, you might just walk right on by, but what it does is so beautiful, and it's so inexpensive. Everything today is inexpensive. We've got the watercolor pencils are going to be on sale for 30% off. The stamps and dies are going to be on sale for 30% off, which is a larger discount than what we're normally able to do. But when you see the collection of stamps and dies, where you get the collection of stamp and the die, the matching dies to go with it for like $13.30 or something, I think you are going to be thrilled. And being that there are several collections to choose from, I think there's a nice selection for everybody. I hope so, because I helped pick them and finish designing some of them. So I'm hoping that it's all good. Fran did all the drawing and I did a little tweaking. But I think between the 2 of us, Fran? Between the 2 of us, it was much love and we did a great job. I'm going with that and I'm going to stick right to it. Okay, so I'm going to tilt down for today. We're going to get started. We're going to be die cutting. We're going to be stamping. We're going to be watercoloring. We're going to be playing with an oops pin to show you what an oops pin does. And we are good to go. Down we go, everybody. Toodles! I don't know when I started to say toodles. I used to watch Gidget with Sally Field. Now, I know the original movie with Gidget wasn't with Sally Field, and I loved those movies too, and I loved Moondoggie. I just thought Moondoggie was great. And I mean, and mind you, those movies were before my time, but I still absolutely loved them. But I don't know when I started to say toodles, because I know Gidget on the TV show, we said toodles. All right, so this is the make and take that's going on downstairs right now. And this is what they're doing. Now, the stamps and the dies are all Stampendous, part of the exclusive. The frame that we did is part of my must-haves collection from Simply Defined. But I want to start with the background stamp. Now the background stamp is sold separately. Well, it's part of the bundle, but it doesn't have a die to go with it. And this is what it looks like. And it's, I mean, unless you understand the intent behind this, if you looked at this, you may go, I certainly do not understand this. Why is the tree chopped in half? What are these things up here? What is that back there? Is this supposed to be grass? I don't get it. Because it's not necessarily over the top inspiring when you're putting together pieces that are meant to contribute to something else. I think if you saw the little doggies with the matching dies, well, by George, you know exactly what to do with those, and they're stinking cute, and you get the idea, oh, look at, I can die cut my little doggies now. But this I think you might walk right on by, even though it was right next to the doggies, because you wouldn't understand what to do with it. Now, Stampendous has put on the back of their packaging, they do have samples. They do, but you know, we all put on the back of our packaging, we try to put some kind of inspiration for you, but looking at it, you might not get it. So I'm gonna play with this first. And that's going to require for me to have my gush pad and my set of blocks. This is the normal set of blocks from Do Crafts. This is the regular size. Last week I played with the large size because my stamp was really big. So here you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different blocks. They're all gridded. It comes in this cute little storage feature, which makes my heart happy because then I don't lose them. I am so good at losing things. In fact, they're not allowed to, the SMS staff is not allowed to put Post-it notes on my desk because I will lose them. They're not, they can't, anything that's important, don't leave on my desk. You have to like physically hand it to me and then make sure that I look at it. I'm the worst. So I would lose my blocks all the time, but then they came out with this great little block set, and it's $12.50 for all the blocks, all 5 and the little storage. And then we will of course have it on a YouTube Yummy. And again, they're nice and gridded. They're not too thin, but they're not too thick, so you can feel the pressure you're putting down. And being that you've got the grids there, it's very handy. There are many companies out there that will sell this block alone for $10. Forget about getting all of these other things. So I'm going to be playing with that, only I think today I am playing with the smaller sizes. So I'm going to pop those out. I've got my Memento marker, or my Memento ink pad, which is really important. And yes, I am going to be playing with a Memento marker today because this is your oops pin. Memento is like the best all-purpose ink ever. It's meant to stamp and then you can watercolor or paint over it or use your Copics with it because it does not react with water. It doesn't smear. And Memento comes in a full-size pad. They come in those cute little dewdrops. I don't have a dewdrop handy. Well, maybe I do. Well, no, I don't. Dewdrops, they come in cute little dewdrop sizes, and they come in a re-inker, and they come in a pen. I wonder if I can just slide this on over. Whoop, slide. Look at that. Piece of cake. And presto, I'm back. There's my dewdrop. I knew I had one in there. So, full-size pad, dewdrop size, marker with a bullet point and a brush tip, and then they have a re-inker. No matter if you buy the dewdrop, the full size, or the marker, the ink is exactly the same. It is the exact same color. You don't have to worry about it being any variation off, which is kind of nice. And Memento comes in, I think, 36 colors, and we carry them all. And they're affordable. The dewdrops are like $2.29, and you can re-ink it with your re-inker. The pens, I can't remember, I think they're under $3. And then the full-size pads are a little over $6. So we always recommend that you only get the full-size pads in the colors that you're going to use most, whether that be blacks or browns or reds. What's your go-to colors? And then for the fun colors, the colors that you love to have but don't want to spend $6, then you get them in the dewdrop size, because you can re-ink both of these with the re-inker. But this is what most people don't realize. First off, you can stamp with this without any problem, but more importantly, this is your oops pin, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to grab my stamps and my gush pad, and I'm going to grab some white paper, and I'm going to put my stamps on my blocks. So I'm going to take my tree base and put that right on my block, and it's going to cling right to my block. I'm going to take my tree canopy, which is this one right here, and I'm going to put that one right on a block. And then I'm going to take maybe my grass and put that on a block. So I've got all three stamps that I'm going to be using right here, easy peasy. Now let's ink up. And I might come back and use some of these. Let's ink up. So I'm going to take my Memento full-size pad. Doesn't matter if you use the full size or you use the little dewdrop. And I'm going to ink my stamp. Okay, that's enough ink. Did you see what I did? I went 1, 2, 3. I did not do this and have a very lengthy conversation with you and ask how your day was, or what you're working on, or did you watch NCIS last night? Because I love me some Mark Harmon. So really, when you ink up a pad, when you ink up your stamp from a pad, whether it be a dewdrop or a full-size pad, you really just need to go, 1, 2, 3, and you're good. I'm going to put that off to the side for now, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, ABC. I am not doing chest compressions. We are not trying to revive the stamp. I want good all over pressure. So if you want to go to the 4 corners and do 4 corner pressure, up to you. Oh, and I smeared it when I decided to do chest compressions. See, I got a little bit of a smear. It's like slightly off. So let's turn it over and do it again. And this time I won't do chest compressions. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. Oh yeah, much better. Perfect. But you only have half of a tree. Remember, it looks like this. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Well, I've got that beautiful little half tree right there. And then I've got the rest of the tree here, which is going to let you make the tree as big as you want it. So I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to start way over here off to the side. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Oh, perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. How often do we get exactly what we want? And 1, 2, 3. And I'll do one more on top to give me a nice full tree. There's my tree. And you're going to say, oh, Stacey. That was not the best stamp job ever. Look at your off over here. Look, you've got all this space. You were too high. It didn't connect at all. This is where that wonderful little oops pin comes in. Can you see that I left all this space? Because here's the bottom stamp and here's the top stamp, but I didn't stamp low enough to fill in that space. Now, you can absolutely go back without question, and you could restamp, sure. Let's go 1, 2, 3. I could restamp them. And let's hit it once, and this time I'm going to bring it down a little bit lower. Yep, there we go. 1, 2, 3. blurry. Ooh. So now my connection between my tree is much better. There's not that, almost that empty space right here. My connection's much better. Now I still stamped way off over here, which we're gonna get to, don't worry. But can you see the difference that there's less empty space? Yes, less empty space. This one's got that nagging little area right here. And if you're a perfectionist, you're gonna say, oh, I can't have that. And I understand, I get it, but instead of restamping the whole thing, what if you had a pen that was the exact same color as the ink you just used, because it is the ink, it's the same. And what if I could just go in there and where there's a little empty space, I just drew in my own. What if I just fixed it that way? I just drew them in, and I could even come over here and kind of draw some of them in if I wanted to fill it in. And I could fill it in even more if I wanted to. And then I maybe could have a swing hanging off that. But the idea is that you can fix your mistakes with the memento marker. So we always recommend that no matter what color pad you have, whether it be a dewdrop size or the full size, you have the memento marker to go with it, because it is your oops pin. If you make an oops, and you don't want to restamp the whole thing, because then you feel like you wasted a piece of paper, or you just don't have the time, or you really can fix it. You go in with your pen, make the adjustments, and you are good to go. Now, oh, that's my blurry one. Now, what else am I going to do to this? Well, I've done my canopy, and now I've got my grass. So let's add some grass into this. And I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna do a little bit of grass over here. And 1, 2, 3, and maybe a little bit of grass over here. And over here. And even maybe some down here. I got a lot of grass going on. Don't need that much, but that's okay. And you can see I just layer. And it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. When you see where we're going to take this, where it's going to end up, you're going to understand why it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I'm going to bring this one back over. And I'm not going to fix this oops. I'm going to let that oops stand as is. And I'm going to go ahead and add some grass to this one. So we can go kind of up here and kind of over here and around here. There we go. So lots of grass. But I'm not going to fix this over here. I'm not going to take my oops pin and try to fill that in at all. I'm going to leave it be. Then we're going to take our lovely watercolor pencils. Now, watercolor pencils are very easy to use. Very, very easy to use. And we have a set that's going to be on sale for 30% off. And I've got a whole host of them. And the set has 24. It's by it's Essentials Watercolor Pencils. They're wonderful. We've carried them for years and years and years. So we're going to put this on sale for you. You get 24 colors. But if you already have watercolor pencils, yes, you can use those. No, you don't need to buy these. If you've got watercolor pencils that you picked up from Walmart, go ahead and give them a try. All you can see is if you like it or not. If you already own them, you might as well give them a whirl. But what's really important to know about watercolor pencils is how they work. Now, watercolor pencils, you do not put directly into water. No, watercolor pencils are not meant to do that. You want to use them and color with them first. I'm going to grab a couple of colors. So I've got a little bit of yellow here. And what's going to happen when I get that yellow wet, because right now it looks like you colored with colored pencils or crayon. Can you see that? You can see all the lines. Once I add a little bit of water to it, and what am I doing? I'm touching the tip of my paintbrush to see how much water I have in there. I want it to be wet. I don't want it to be dripping. And the minute I add that water, the watercolor pencil melts into a paint. Can you see the difference? They're very simple to use and they are very, very forgiving. So for those of you who are just starting to craft and you want to color, you want to stamp and color, watercolor pencils are absolutely your friend. There's no question about it. Do they blend? Yes, they blend. So if I took a little bit of my yellow and I took a little bit of my red and I took my paintbrush do they blend? Yes. They absolutely will blend for you. Do you have to use watercolor paper? It's nice if you do. You don't have to though. Actually, I'm on 80-pound paper. 100 pounds going to be better, but you can use regular heavy cardstock. The heavier the cardstock, the better. So if you have 100-pound cardstock, great. If you don't, try your 80-pound. It may work just fine. So you can move the colors and you can blend them into each other. And they will make very pretty blends. So I've got my 3 colors there. Just move them right into each other and blend, blend, blend. To make whatever it is that's going to make your heart happy. What you can't do with watercolor pencils is while it's wet, go back and add. So I can't take my pencil while this is wet and go back and try to add. Can you see? It won't really leave any color, and the color it does leave, I will have a hard time blending out the scratches. They leave scratch marks. People think that watercolor pencils mean you can use them while your paper is wet, and that's a no. Can't do that. That does not work. It will leave those scratches behind so you can see them. People also think that you get your pencil wet, that you actually dip it in your water and then come over here to color. And again, you're going to have the same problem. So I dipped it directly in. And then when I try to move it, I'm going to be able to see the scratches underneath where it's not going to move because the pencil was wet when I started. That's not what you want. You want to be able to color with these so that it blends and it moves, and part of doing that is making sure that your paper is dry, making sure that your pencil is dry, and then leaving enough room for the paint to go somewhere. So if I was doing, let's just cut a little piece right here. If I was, let's take my pink, and let's just color my whole piece of paper pink. I'm going to color my whole paper pink. So I haven't left very much white at all. I've colored the whole thing pink. What's going to happen when I get this wet? Well, everything's going to turn pink. And if you want more of a solid looking pink, then that's what you're going to do. But I have nowhere for that paint to move to give me highs and lows and shadows. It all just kind of looks pink. Now, if I took my pink and instead I did it kind of heavy down here, but left all of this room up here, what would I get? I can now take it and blend it out because I've left that white negative space. I've left that paper to accept as my paint is getting lighter and lighter and lighter, so that I have got midtones and highlights. And what I mean by highlights is that it's very soft. Look at the gradation I'm able to do if I leave myself room for the paint to move. And you can see the whole gradation. So when you're using watercolor pencils, it's more about leaving yourself space to move that paint, because that's what it kind of comes into once you add the water, than to color the whole thing. And what you're really left with is just a solid piece of, I mean, maybe you have cardstock that's already that color. But when you want to do the shadings and the shadowings, which we're going to do, this is how you do it. You have to leave yourself what they call negative space, that empty space. There's a picture, I don't know if it's still in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, but the picture is this. It's nothing but negative space. It's just a canvas. I think the first time I saw a painting like that where it was just blank, I'm like, did I miss something? Oh, when I got paint, I got water on my thingy, but that's okay. So watercolor pencils, get in it, you know, you don't need top-notch paint brushes. These are by the same company that makes our watercolor pencils, and you get a pack of them. Gosh, I don't know, you get 4 or 5 of them for I think $7, and they work beautifully, and we use them all the time. So if you've already got some paintbrushes, give it a whirl. This is great for kids because it doesn't make a mess. So now I'm going to come over to what I started on, and I got my paper a little wet, but we'll work with it. And I'm going to color the rest of my image here. And you're saying, but Stacey, it's off there. It looks a little weird. Trees don't grow quite that way. I know. Don't worry. Trust me on this. We'll get there. I'm going to start with my watercolor pencil. I'm going to draw in a little bit of brown at the bottom of my trunks. Draw in just a little bit of brown. So can you see how much I've drawn in? And for now, that's all I'm going to do. Then I'm going to take my paintbrush, I'm going to get it wet, and I'm going to pull that color right up and paint the rest of my tree trunk. And you'll see it's a little darker at the bottom, a little bit lighter at the top, giving it some shading and some shadow. I need a little bit more water, but I always kind of pinch it off just to make sure that it's not dripping wet. I don't want a dollop of water at the bottom of my paintbrush, because then when I add that to my paper, it's going to be a big drop, and that's not what I'm looking for. There. Done. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to play with my greens. And I'm going to I'm going to play with 2 greens. And I'm just going to scribble. Scribble, 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 scribble. Scribble, scribble, scribble. And then maybe with my lighter green, so I've got that darker green and I literally scribbled. And then maybe with a little bit of the lighter green, go in there and scribble in some places. Scribble, scribble, scribble. And then I'm gonna take my brush and add some water to it and move that color around. And I'm just blending those two greens. It's doing it for me. It really doesn't require much effort or practice. I can already hear you. For you, you've been doing this for years. Trust me, watercolor pencils are your friends. So I've got a couple that I've got it a little bit lighter over here, a little bit darker over there, and all I did was scribble, scribble, scribble. So let's bring this one over real quick. And scribble, 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 scribble. Scribble, 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 scribble. Scribble, 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 scribble. Okay, there it is. Lots of scribbling. This is my kind of crafting. This is where I don't have to worry about the lines. Add my water, blend, 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 blend. Okay, can you see already the difference? This has been water, this is not. Let's add a little bit more water. Again, I usually pinch off the end just to make sure that there's not that big dollop at the end. This is not sour cream. You don't want a dollop of daisy. Oh, am I gonna get in trouble for that? Oh, I don't know if that's YouTube if I'm gonna get in trouble for that. Oh no. Okay, well, I'm just gonna say that consider it free advertising because you can get in trouble for that. All right, so no time at all. There's my tree. Add my brown. To the bottom, easy peasy. Go back in. Add my water. Just kind of pull it up and paint with it. It'll spread. And if you need more water on your paintbrush, just add a little bit more water, kind of wipe off the end and pull it up. See? Looky. No fuss, no muss, no matter of time, and you are an artiste. You are creating, you are doing this. This is your artwork. Nobody can say other because you've created this. Yes, you used stamps. Yes, you used watercolor paper, but it's your creation when it's all done. You are doing art. Now let's talk about the grass. So I can go in there and I can just add, well, I have options. So I've got a piece of paper that I know is bigger than what I'm going to use. I can choose to make a palette down here and just color right down at the bottom. And then I can go back in and I can get that wet and I can use that as paint to kind of paint my grass. And I'm just gonna do some flicks. I'm not going to paint like this. I'm just gonna add some green highlights to the blades of grass and have them go in with the black. And whatever way that blade is going, that's the way I'm gonna do it. So I can do it this way. That means if this is still wet and I wanted to add more green, while you can't go back and add the pencil directly to your picture because it's still wet, you could put some of your watercolor pencil down there, go in and pick it up and go back in and add some color that way. Sure, you can do that, no problem. You could have a separate piece of paper off to the side that you're using as a palette to pick up that pencil and just go back in. And I just added some random grass. You'll see when it's all done. Now, although I was supposed to be doing this one. All right. Well, I think on this one, what I'll do next is I'm going to add some blue. Have you ever seen the Copic girls and they do this beautiful blue outline? It's this soft blue that kind of fades. It takes away the starkness of the white. It softens everything. But usually with Copic, you need a blender pen and you saturate the outside and then you run your blue, your 000, B0000 here, and it bleeds on out. Now, what if you don't have Copics and what if you're not a Copic girl? Or a Spectrum Noir girl? What are you gonna do? Watercolor pencil. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go on the same premise as what they did. I'm gonna add some blue all the way, oh, see it's wet, all the way around my tree, into my trunk. And can you see that I'm kind of leaving a little bit of space around it because you don't want it right up touching. Some blue. You can even put some in here. And we'll come back and do that. And you're gonna say, but Stacey, that does not look so pretty. No, I know, we have to finish. Let's get our paintbrush. Keep it kind of flat and not too wet. And let's move that color around. Kind of move that color around. And I'm leaving a little bit of white next to my tree. I'm not getting all the way up to it because I want to have a little bit of that negative space so that blue even pops more. And let's get in between. I need a smaller brush to do that because that's a little tight. Let's get in between. Okay. So I've got my blue all the way around. And again, you're going, I'm not so sure. Well, you could add some more blue if you wanted. I could go down here and again, make a little palette of blue and add my water and pick it up and come back in here and paint it in if I wanted. It really is entirely up to you what you want it to look like. Okay, I'm actually good with that. I'm fine. And now I need to add my green grass. And this time I can choose to just kind of flick my grass up, and I don't even have to add water if I don't want to. I can just use it as a pencil if I don't want to add water to it. Let's come back with some of the darker green. Totally up to you what you want to do. Maybe just a little bit more on the lighter down here. Okay. So I've got grass. Now it's my choice. Do I want to add water to that or do I just want to let it be? Totally up to you. If you add water, you want to keep those flecks pretty straight. You don't want to add so much water that it starts to blend, because blades of grass are pretty straight. So if you want to soften them just a bit, you can just add a touch of water and just kind of soften them just a bit, but you don't want to blend it because grass are blades of grass. So here I am, and I'm about done, and you're going, I still don't get it. I know, but you will. I know that there's areas where it's not finished. I know that my tree goes off to the side. I know that my blue is not 100% perfect, but I'm a crafter, and that's what I do, and this is what it looks like until I move to the next step. Now, I have some of my must-haves, and these are dies that are sold in a set. They're nesting dies. You get, they're huge sets. I have circles and ovals and rectangles, and most of them have anywhere from 23 to 29 dies, and they're $29.99 for the whole set, and they're really pretty impressive, and they're meant to go through your Big Shot, your Vagabond, your Big Kick, your Spellbinders machines, whether it be the Platinum or the Grand Caliber. They're wafer style dies, and I'm going to use them next. So I'm going to grab I'm going to grab a piece of paper. I'm going to use yellow. Should I use yellow? We can try yellow. I wonder how close that is to an A2. I bet that's nowhere near, but let me square this off just a little bit. All right, that's a little bit better. And I'm going to die cut with one of my must-haves. And this one is my rectangles with the little scallops by it. So I'm just going to put that right in the center. I'm going to bring over my Big Shot machine that I'm playing with. I'm going to be using my magnetic platform, although I don't have to. I could use the platform, the multi-purpose platform that comes with the machine. It's up to you. This is sold separately. It is an additional purchase. The platform that comes with your machine is going to be perfect for you as well. Everything that I'm doing here, you're going to be able to do with your machine if you don't have a magnetic platform. I guess it's about the same either way. And I'm going to cut a frame. So I'm just going to roll it on through once. These are open frame dies, which means they don't need a precision base plate. They don't need to be twisted and turned and rotated. And that paper is going to pop right on out. So I'm left with this. But more importantly, I have this. Now, what do you want to see from my tree? Do you want to see more grass? Do you want to see the tree this way? Do you want to see the tree this way? What is it that you want to see behind the window? Because even though you did all of this, we're going to make it so that this becomes a frame, a background to the next thing we're going to stamp and cut. And sure, you could go bigger. Absolutely, you could go bigger. Let's see. Let me cut a piece of blue. So you could use ovals, you could use circles, but you've made yourself a background stamp that now you can do almost anything with. You've made yourself a background. Do you want to float butterflies on top? Do you want to do flowers? Do you just want the tree and something with get well soon or with sympathy or thinking about you? Let's see which ways. I think I've got a little bit more room that way. So now I've got my straight edge, because my must-haves come in straight edge and scallop edge, and then all the little decor dies that go with them will work with between both sets. It's Maybe I need to do a YouTube just on the must-haves because there's a lot about them. There's a lot of options with those must-haves. So I still have my die cut. Now I've got a straight edge. And again, now you can see even more of the tree. Do you want more grass? I could do more grass down here and less of the tree. I could have more sky up above. I could center my tree. Can you see why not? This is not a big deal. I could move this all the way over and just have that part of the tree showing. You've started a background for everything that you have, all your flowers, all your butterflies, to then come back and fill in and add in too. And we are going to do that. So let me, gosh, I don't know. Okay, and I think before I tape it on down, I'm gonna add one more element to this. With my must-haves, they all have what's called decor dies, which fit in and around each of the cutting dies. And this element just leaves little pretty edges for you. So I'm gonna cut this one so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, this is not gonna cut another rectangle out. This is going to cut little stitched lines into my paper, which means that instead of having one rectangle set that only does stitches, you could have a rectangle set that does, my rectangle set comes with stitches, it comes with dots, it comes with dashes, it comes with just the straight edges, so that you have so many options to decide what to do. Now this one, because those stitches are in there, I'm just gonna do a rotate and send it back on through just to make sure that everything cut. Let's pull it out. So my must-haves have been called on the market like the best sets ever for nesting, because you get so much for your money. Oh, look at, they almost all just popped right on out. Isn't that lovely? Love, love, love. Let's see, where are my tweezers? Tweezers. And just go zoop and zoop. Yeah, the zoop is part of it. You have to do the zoop. So now, how cute is that? So let's trim this down. Let's go ahead and let's trim this down. So I'm just gonna cut, I'm gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna cut some of this off, and let's see. Oh, I can still cut off more. Cut some of this off. Oh, that looks pretty good. All right, and let's grab some Stacey tape. And let's tape it on down in place, just so I can hold it up to show you. And one there. Now this is double-sided tape. So right now I'm just using it as tape, but if I were to pull off the liner and expose the tape underneath it, then I could stick it to something else. And let's cut this down. I'm just gonna freehand it, and let's cut, am I gonna cut that off? Maybe, we might have to tape again. Oh yeah, I'm definitely cutting into the tape. Okay. Freehand. All right, so we're almost there. You trim, oh, that's gonna bother me. There. How cute is that? Got the little stitches around it, but we took something that started, so you can see why you can have the palette below, because once you, I did this one earlier, once you cut it, once you put it behind a frame, and you have the opportunity to move it wherever you want. You could even have just very little of the tree showing. So easy. But when you look at this, and I didn't even do the clouds or the little mountains behind it. I could go in there and put the little clouds up here, right there. When you look at this, you might not get this from this, because that's what we did in the make and take. Wherever oh. That's how we did this, was here. And then you can see how we've embellished it and how we've added to it, which is what I'm gonna do next. Yeah, I got right on the tape. Oh well, it's all good. Okay, let's clean this up and then let's pull out one of the sets. And I love, love, love daisies. I do. I love, love, love daisies. So I'm gonna open this one up and we're gonna stamp. It says, have a sunshine day. No, I can't do that. If I sing, I get in trouble. I'm gonna pull over a piece of white paper. I'm gonna pull over my gush mat. I'm going to put this right on my Do Crafts block. I'm gonna grab my memento. I'm gonna go ink, 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 ink. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. There's my beautiful impression on my gush mat, because you want that stamp to make really great contact with your paper and it needs something to gush into, hence it got its name. I'm gonna grab my watercolor pencils and I'm gonna go, let's do from the bottom out. So I am just going to color from the bottom of my daisy out. That's all the color I'm going to do. Then I'm going to grab one of my paint brushes. I'm going to get it wet, tap off a little bit of the water, and I'm going to pull that color right on out. And you can see that the memento is not smearing, it's not bleeding, because it is meant to not react with water. That's an important thing with all the inks on the market these days that are meant to react with water. Memento is meant to not, so that it allows you to go in there and paint. And look it, lickety split. Done. Oh, I gotta get that other petal. So I didn't put any on that other petal. I'm gonna come over here. I might want to grab some of my yellow, pick up my color, and go in there and maybe just add just a little bit of my color because I missed that petal. But if I wanted to, I could also add some of that color and even deepen, get that shadow or that depth of color right around the center of my flower, and add more yellow to that to even make that a little bit deeper, giving it a little more. So now it's even a deeper color, which makes this look even whiter, which then gives you that highlight and that mid-tone and that shadow, but all we've used is pencil. And then I could come in with my pink and go just around, again, the center of my flower. That's all I'm going to color. You need to leave that negative space. And let's pull that out. I'm just pulling that color right out and painting. done. You can do this. And not only can you do it, but everybody that you craft with can. Or this is great for kids because they feel so accomplished and it's not messy at all. I can go in with my greens and add a little green to, oh, I wonder if this is too blue. Add a little green to my stem and get it wet. And just kind of move that green around so it kind of fills in where those stems are. What colors do you want your centers? Do we want this center to be kind of a red? Put a little bit of just a little bit of colored pencil in there. And then let's pull it. So it is painting, but it's painting where you are in control of what you do because you're putting it down with a pencil first and then turning it into paint. So you decide, you don't have to worry about it being too gloopy. Let's see, what color do we want on, let's put like a purpley one in here. It is painting, but it isn't painting because you're coloring first. See, just a little bit of the purple. And just pull it out. Watercolor pencils were one of the first things I ever learned to use. And then let's do the last one. Because that's me, I can't not finish. Why my YouTubes are 2 hours long, but that's okay. I like to color, so I don't mind. This is a good time for me. I love to color. I was such a nerd when I was a kid. All my pens and my crayons had to be, well, yeah, okay, so I guess I'm still kind of a nerd, because if you go into my closet, everything's in order by color. I just like to see them all lined up. It makes my heart so happy to see like all the rainbow right there in front of you. Oh my goodness. It's just a little bit of wahoo kachoo. Now if I want to add a little darker purple to this one, so I went a little bit light, I can add a little darker purple by putting some more up here. Go in and pick it up, and I can add a little bit of darker purple in here. If I wanted to have more of a shadowed look. And then let's do a yellow. And I'm going to pick that yellow up because I'm not sure that I didn't get some water in the middle of my center there. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of yellow and just kind of dab it on in. Ta-da! Now we are going to cut this because the sets come with the dies to match. Yes, you can just make a pretty picture, absolutely, but we want to finish it out. So each set comes with the coordinating dies for $13.30. That's a wahoo kachoo price because when they are released in April to the rest of the retailers, they will not be that price. All right, let's bring our machine back over. And this is where having the magnetic platform is nice because I've done my coloring and now I can line my die up around what I've done. And because it's magnetic, it doesn't move. Does that mean you can't do it with your regular multi-purpose platform? Of course you can. Just take a little piece of washi tape and tape your die down so it doesn't slip. But boy, if you have a birthday coming up or an anniversary coming up, or you've just because those are the best presents ever. Ask for a magnetic platform if you have a big shot or a big kick or a vagabond, and you can even use the Sizzix magnetic platform in a Spellbinders Platinum machine. Yes, it's just a little bit of heaven. And then we can come and we can finish it off. We can make it so very cute with the little flower off here. And this one came with have a sunshine day. So we could stamp, put it right on the back of this one and grab my gosh, I'm going to tape that down really quick so I don't lose it. Stacey tape. Anybody see where I put it? Could it be any closer to me? Is it underneath? Hello, Stacey tape. Where did you go to? Well, I know oh. Okay, it's right here. I heard you yelling. It's right there, Stacey. It's right there. See, and this is how you know I don't edit my YouTubes. I don't cut them. I don't splice them. It is what it is. I should have taken a pop dot and popped that one up. Oops. So now I've got that there. Let's go ahead and let's just ink up my little have a sunshine day and bring over my gush, and I still have some room on my paper here. Let's see if I can get a good image. Ready, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Looks perfect to me. Now, did you see where I put my block? And can you find the Stacey tape for me? Oh my gosh. Okay then. So now which one goes with it? I don't know. Where's the other oh, those are for the butterflies. Okay, so I'm gonna have to cut this guy out by hand or wait on the one we're using in the make and take. Oh, look at it, it comes with a little, the one we're using in the make and take has this cute little die. I wonder if it'll fit. I don't know if it'll fit. We're gonna see. Let's see if that die from the set that we're using in the make and take will work. And then wait till you see the samples. Oh my goodness gracious, the samples are beautiful. Whenever I see Have a Sunshine Day, I think of the Brady Bunch. Oh, it does. Okay, perfect. So, the little die I'm using comes with one of the other sets, the set that we used for the in-store make and take going on right now. So I'm just gonna lay it down and I'm gonna cut it on out. And it's an open frame die, so I don't have to worry about going back and forth. It's going to be just fine. And did I mention that these are really, really limited in quantity? We do not have lots and lots and lots of them. Look at it, it has the cute little stitch. Okay, so let's bring this on back. And by George, look at my Stacey tape is right there. And we can put that up there. And in no time at all, using just white paper, some ink, our watercolor pencils, poof! We have made something just lovely. And I honestly do believe that if you saw this, not knowing what to do with it, not knowing how darling it can be, not knowing how useful it is with all your other stamp and die sets to make a simple, fun background, you would just walk right on by. Okay, so what did we talk about today? We talked about watercolor pencils. If you've got them, try them. Use the ones you've got, see if they're gonna work well. That's important. As long as you're happy with the results you get, well then you don't need to go buy anything new. We will have ours on sale at 30% off if you want. Most importantly, we talked about the Memento ink between the pad, the dewdrop, and the Oops pin. This lets you go in there and fix those mistakes. Remember, I fixed the mistakes on this one. I went in there and just kind of drew it in because this is the exact same ink as what comes in the pads, which means when you add water to it, this isn't going to move. You just can't take a black marker to try and fix. It won't work. You gotta try, you gotta use the right tool for the right job, as my dad always says. Watercolor pencils, don't get them wet. They're not meant to be wet, they're meant to be dry, and then you add the water to it so that you get the beautiful results that you're looking for. Look at that beautiful gradation and ombre. So pretty. And that is exactly how we colored everything on here. And we talked about my must-haves. Well, my must-haves are a whole YouTube all into themselves. So I want to show you the different sets that we have from Stampendous that are exclusive to Scrapbooking Made Simple. And here's the watercolor pencils. They're only $13.99, and then they're going to be 30% off. And we are limited on these as well. We only have so many sets to go around. But let's start with the cute little doggies. So here's the stamp and the die set. And then here are the cards. Isn't that so cute? And they were all done using that background. This was all done using that. There's the little hill, there's the clouds. This was all done using that one background stamp that you may have just passed on over or not given it its proper due. Because truly, look at this. This was all done. Aren't the little doggies so cute? The background makes the stamps and the dies that you're going to cut out, it finishes it. It makes it a complete card. Love, love, love. Then we have the daisy, which is the one I was playing with today. Stamp and die, you get both for the same, for the $13.30, I think. How cute is this tag? And these were done with my must-haves. Look at how cute. Look at there's like no ink, no paint on the ends of these to really give it that deep, deep, rich feel to it. How cute is that tag? And then have a sunshine day. And again, we used my must-haves to cut the center out. And there's the little butterflies. Now, Stampendous put several of these samples together and they did a most excellent job. Beautiful job, ladies at Stampendous. Beautiful. And they took my must-haves and just incorporated them in, but look at how perfect that is. And then, again, they used my must-haves and the daisies and have a sunshine day. These are easy and fun and affordable. Then we have our kitty cat. So if you're gonna have a doggy set, you best have a kitty set. And the little frame is going to cut all of them out. And I bet most of the frames that come with them are gonna cut. You're gonna be able to use those frames again and again and again. So our little kitty set. And then look, how cute. Darling, right? And then there's a doggy and a kitty put together to a perfect friend. Oh, love, love, love. So cute. Again, my must-haves to cut out the center. So cute. You can do these. Then we have the hummingbird. Beautiful. Has the die. Oh, what do we think of that? Right? That looks pretty good, huh? And then a tag, just using the flowers. And then spread your wing and fly. And this is using my must-haves, and we put the dotty edge along it. Here you've got the tree stamped twice with the canopy. You've got the blue going on, you've got the hummingbird, you've got the floral, you've got the sentiment. That is a stunner of a card, and it wasn't done any differently than what I showed you. They just made the background bigger by stamping the body of the the trunks twice and then doing all their little canopies. Now what's underneath this? Oh, it's probably a mess all around it, but nobody needs to know that. They're not going to see it. It's going to be hidden. And then look at this one. And see, now it's just the trunk of the trees. Same stamp. No canopy, no leaves, just the trunks of the trees to do this one. How beautiful is that? And then we have Sending You a Smile, which is the one we are using for the make and take downstairs right now. And look at how cute. Look at how beautiful these are. And easy to do. And here, okay, here we stamped directly onto the card. This is stamped directly onto the card. There's no layering, so we put the background directly onto the card and then added the flowers. Sure, you can do that. Why can't you? Card base is white. Have at it. And here's a white on white, similar to what we did for the make and take, only we did white on white. And then look at this darling little note card, and it's got the Craft Perfect satin paper behind it, and it's just beautiful. And it's been popped up to give that little extra oomph. The little Simply Defined seam binding ribbon. And then last for this one, just pretty. Imagine just having a lovely little day with your crafty friends, and all of you make 5 cards, and then you take one set, each of you take one set, make 5 cards or 6 cards, and then you give each person in your little group that card, so that when you leave, all of you have 5 or 6 different cards to take home to use. Look at this. Love this. Look at the background. It makes that little house. It absolutely finishes it off. It makes it. And this one is also one of my most favorites because it uses almost exclusively the grass and the tree trunks out of that set, but it makes the card. The house is perfect. Have a Sunshine Day, that came from the Daisy set. And it's beautiful. That background is so very useful. And then last but not least is our darling mushroom set. And I showed this one. I think this is the one I showed on Facebook because it's really good. Love. And they all have, and again, the trees, just the trunks of the trees with very little green, very little leaves. So we're selling them. We have them open stock, so you can buy just the ones you love, love, love. Or we do have the I Want It All bundle where you will get everything that you have seen, including the background stamp. And hopefully, if you don't already have your watercolor pencils, you will like the ones that I used. Can't tell you where I put them. Do you see them? I don't, oh, here they are. Watercolor pencils. But if you already own these, I'd rather see you get a die and stamp set if you already have something that will work. You don't have to use these. Use what you have. It's the dies and the stamps that you don't have in your stash because they've never been done before. This is a brand new collection and it's exclusive. So $13 for this versus, I guess, 30% off of this, maybe $10 for that. This you can get. This your local craft store might even have. Go visit them and see if they've got watercolor pencils and get the stamps and the dies because that's the only, that you have to get those from us right now until April. All right, I am going to tilt on up and I'm going to say hello. Okay, let's tilt on back because you can tilt on back, 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 back. Oh, there we go. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, all right. So where are you going to find all of this great product? Well, check your local craft stores for what you can get from them. The white paper, the watercolor pencils, the paintbrushes if you need to, and then come online and shop with us for the dies and the stamps from Stampendous. And again, the quantities are limited. So visit scrapbookingmadesimple.com or come into our retail store. We will have the exclusive on them until April of 2019. Oh my! And I do hope you love what Fran and I have put together. We both worked so hard on this and they were so wonderful to us. They are always wonderful to us, and I can't tell them how much I appreciate their efforts on behalf of Scrapbooking Made Simple. Fran is such a talented woman, she is, and then she let me add my little tweaks here and my little tweaks there, and kind of make them a little bit of mine too. So thank you for giving me that opportunity, Fran. All right, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Me, Stacey. I will see you next week for YouTube number 269. Bye.